What's your other name?
Last name Oboe.
Oboe.
Yeah,
I'm just going to refer to you as. Okay. All right. Hello everyone, welcome to Unwind with Kelly Joe. Oh my god, as promised, I always bring you someone every Saturday and I've not disappointed you. I've got Mr. Courage with me. He is a businessman and we're going to tell you everything. He is going to tell you everything about him. Courage, you are so welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Courage and I'm the CEO of Courage Consultants UK Limited.
Okay.
And I'm also the CEO of Coral Recruitment and Care Services here in the UK.
Okay.
And currently I lecture in one of the university in Manchester, which I don't want to mention the name.
Okay, I completely understand.
Yeah.
But listen, oh my god, my audience know that we've had a lot of people here, a lot of guests ranging from artists, social workers, students, teachers, rappers, and listen, and now we've got a businessman, a lecturer. Oh my god, what else do you want? It's amazing. I'm really excited. And once again, you're very, very welcome. So you've told us a little bit about you. You know, you're a lecturer, you're the CEO of Courage Consultants Limited. So what does Courage Consultant UK Limited, what do they do?
All right. Courage Consultant UK Limited was incorporated February 2019.
Okay.
We're into education and we also try to grow other smaller businesses in terms of business model and business strategy. Courage Consultant UK Limited, we have a lot of educational courses in-house, such as Maths and English Functional Skills Level 2, and then Diploma in Adult Care Level 3 to Level 5. And we also have access to nursing for those students who wish to study nursing here in the UK and outside the UK.
Okay.
Right.
So in other words, you don't just get applicants from the UK, you get applicants from all over the world.
Yes.
What other countries do use your services?
Nigeria,
Okay.
Uganda, Sierra Leone.
Okay.
I've got a lot of students that we actually recruited to the United Kingdom to come study, which they are on their study route now, and then some have already, they've graduated, and they're also working for us. We hired them, and some of them, we also mentored them to become a lecturer here in the UK. And the beautiful part of it is that we've also got a distant learning course where students, can register some numeracy. Once they pass those assessments, they could then start the university course, such as business management and health and social care. But it doesn't happen for nursing. Nursing is, requirement is the requirement.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So for nursing, it's Maths and English Functional Skills Level 2, and then access to nursing. So for the distant learning courses, we have strategic management, and then we have health and social care management on level 6 and then level 7. The level 6 one is for students that already have HND. However, they must establish that they've already got their WAEC or their IELTS, or they've already got their English level 2 certificate. If they have that with their HND certificate, we can also register them for the distant learning courses.
Right.
So they don't necessarily need to come to the UK. Some that are in the UK, they can still register those courses as well if they want to.
Okay.
So if they have level 5, they can register level 6 with us. It's purely online.
Perfect.
And if they have level 6, they could then register level 7 with us. So level 7 is the master's degree. So for them to be eligible, for the requirement for the level 7 is that they must have a BSc certificate plus the transcript, and then the Maths and English Functional Skills level 2 or WAEC or IITS. So for that, if they have that, then they could do the level 7 with us, which is the masters.
Perfect.
From there, they could progress into PhD, because I'm also studying for a PhD now.
Right.
Very soon I'll become a doctor.
Right.
Soonest.
You're studying a lot, aren't you? I mean, I don't know how you do it, because going back to school now, for me, I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, you're a lecturer. You're already like, you probably, I bet you read a lot.
I do.
It doesn't stop, does it?
It doesn't stop.
You've got to, you've got to be knowledgeable all the time.
Yeah, because that's my passion.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've published one of my paper now, and I've got a lot on the pipeline that I still need to publish as well.
Right.
So I wouldn't stop there. I'll still continue.
You still continue. Oh my God! I wish I was like that, but no more studying for me. I've had enough.
And then I also got a platform where I mentor tutors.
Okay.
Tutors who wish to study here, who wish to teach here in the UK. If they've studied here in the UK and they want to, teach here in the UK,
right?
Where I mentor them, and we also, try to fix them up in various universities for them to teach.
Right. So, for instance, if someone, say from Kenya, let's say a country like that, someone from there applied and wanted to do, for instance, wanted to do one of the courses in business or nursing, whatever it is, and they have the qualifications, and you accept their application, and they study online, they've got all, they finish studying, they've got the qualifications that need. Would you then help them in securing a job if they needed to? And the reason I'm asking that is because in the UK now they're struggling, in terms of staffing levels, especially in the NHS, isn't it? In the health sector. So would you then help them secure a job? And if you do, how would you do that with them?
Okay. It comes in various levels.
Yeah.
Some wish to work in the hospital.
Okay.
For those who wish to work in the hospital, if they're already working in the care settings in Kenya, they only need to do a distant training, online training with us, and then I will send them a link where they could apply for those healthcare jobs in the UK, and then they will get, certificate of sponsorship. They will also interview them. If they pass the interview, they don't need to pay anything for the interview. The certificate of sponsorship is free in as much that they pass the interview, and they have all the requirements. But they will need to write the English test.
Very important.
Which is the IITS.
Yeah.
So if they pass that, and they're already working in care, they have the experience, they've done the training with us online, so therefore, the companies that they've applied to, the companies are more than happy to hire them. I can send them the link for the companies that have the COS they can apply to.
They can apply.
Even the NHS, they can also apply for the NHS jobs.
Would you give them, would you provide them with references?
In as much they've studied with us, we can give them academic reference.
Fabulous. That's very important,
it is
isn't
the governmental policy that any student that have studied in any center, that student therefore can get academic reference from that center.
Fabulous. That's amazing. Yeah, because that's the most important. Now, in terms of finances, because someone might be, I've got an audience. When I look at my statistics, I've got audiences from African countries: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi. Someone might be watching and think, right, okay, I'm very interested, but how do I start? And about the fees, because you know how it is. People worry about their finances and stuff. How would someone abroad start with the process? And when you talk about finances, where would they go to look at, if they can afford it?
Okay. They say all hands are not equal.
Of course.
Some are rich, some are poor.
Yes.
So the way we've designed our courses, such as everyone can access it. the one that wants to come to the UK, coming to the UK, they will pay 14,500 minimum for international student school fees.
Okay.
They will need to get accommodation, which is also very expensive. They will also need to pay for their flight ticket.
Yes.
Okay. If they can do that, that's fine. We can, do the admission for them to come to the UK to study. All they need to do is to go on my website and apply on my website.
Right.
All the requirements are there.
Okay.
Alternatively, they can drop me an email,
Okay.
and then I'll send them the requirements. However, for those who wish to stay in their various countries, they don't want to come to the UK, they could study with us online. With the online one, it's quite cheaper.
Oh, good.
They only need to pay £7,000.
Is that per term?
No, for the
For
year.
the whole, right,
For the
okay,
whole year.
okay.
And they can pay installment as well. Right, they can pay installment.
So
You see
it's
that?
doable.
And it's doable.
Yeah.
We don't just stop there. We also help them with their employability. Employability skills is very, very important.
Absolutely.
I don't want those students to study in the center and they put the certificate in the pocket. No.
No.
So in terms of employability, we have an employability sections where we also help support them with their CVs and then refer them to different or various companies that are interested. So we send their CV off.
Fabulous.
So I've got a lot of students here all over the world that work in different sectors. And they also come back to us and say, we've got various vacancies in that place. Do you have anyone courage to refer for us? I refer those students that are currently studying with us. I refer them.
Do you know something? While you were talking, I was just thinking, these are the role models that we need in our societies, in our communities. It's good to see Black excellency, like someone that's actually, motivating people to do well, people to sort of do better in their lives and get a good future, So thank you so much for being that person. It's so important. On that note, we're going to play a game. Why would we not play a game and take it a little bit easy? Right, okay. I've got some questions that my directors kind of put. I don't know what the questions are.
Okay.
But I'm sure they're not. Don't be scared. A lot of people get scared with this because they're like, oh no, what is she gonna ask? No, but I'm sure that they're not bad questions. Right, okay, here we go. Got a fast question. What's your best football club in the UK and why?
Manchester City.
You know why I'm laughing? Most people I've had here, including Bishop, they're all Manchester United, so I bet his heart is racing right now. Why? Why?
The club is doing fabulously good.
Yeah.
They've got good players.
Okay.
And over the years, I've been supporting that club. I
Have
have
you?
passion for Man.
Well, I won't say another word. I did say before that one leg was in Manchester United, another one was in Man City, so I'm a bit, I don't know what to do. It's only because recently Manchester United have been slacking a lot. Yeah, okay, another question. What's the worst thing that has ever happened to you in your career?
Okay. Career.
Yeah.
The worst thing that ever happened to me in my career is that, at times you wish to study and finish early. For example, BSc is 3 years.
Yeah.
And at times, when you try to assess that 3 years, you look at it like it's very long year. But by the time you graduate, you look at, oh my God, when did I start this?
It's gone quick.
The worst thing that have ever, happened to me was like working and at the same time studying. Because when it comes to school fees, I pay school fees myself. I worked hard.
So you have to work hard.
Yeah, and paying school fees in pounds is quite expensive.
It's expensive.
So working and paying school fees was really, really difficult.
Yeah.
So I see that to be something like
I get it, absolutely. Another question. Who inspires you in the business industry? Very important, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who inspires you?
Is one of my lecturer I met in 2000 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, he taught me business management.
Okay.
It was the one that inspired me. His name is Solomon.
Yeah.
So he's still my mentor.
Good.
And,
Good.
he's also my business partner today.
Good. Because you never forget the people that inspire you to be better, do you? That's a good thing, and I know a lot of people are already inspired by you. Right. Okay. Another question: what kind of shows do you watch? Like, obviously, you're talking about studying law. You're a lecturer. You're a CEO of a big company. Like, what kind of, you must sit sometimes on on a Sunday morning, Sunday evening or something, and like switch the telly on. What kind of shows do you like?
Okay. I normally watch the Nigerian movies.
Yes. Is it Nollywood?
Nollywood.
Nollywood. Who's your best actor or actress in Nollywood?
Francine.
Yeah. Fabulous. That's a good answer. I won't argue with that. I won't argue with that. Another question is, what motivates you to keep acquiring and attaining your goals? There must be something in life that sort of motivates you.
Yeah, life is very competitive.
Yeah.
Whatever you have now, others have it.
Yeah.
But you keep attaining.
Yes.
So that you can compete with them.
Yes.
So you have, that will give you your own competitive advantage to compete with your competitors.
Yes.
So that's why I never give up. I never stop.
Yes.
Keep studying. I keep achieving more in my business, and I keep putting more time, putting different business strategy to make sure it works.
Fabulous.
And it's really working.
Fabulous. Someone once told me, I think I was going for an interview so many years ago, and I was nervous, I was scared, and someone once said to me that you always, in an interview, you don't know how many people are going to be there, how many people that are going to be interviewed. And he said to me, the one thing you always have to remember is you have to be 110 better than anyone else.
Yes,
and I've always taken that with me. I always thought the other person they're going to interview that's going to go for the job is probably 100%, so I need to, I need that 10%,
to do better than
exactly. So yeah, absolutely. Right, the last question is, what kind of music do you listen to? And I know you're such a busy man, but what music do you listen to?
I listen to Nigeria Afrobeat.
Afrobeat. Who's your best Afrobeat? Burna Boy. Okay, we had this question, we had this before when I had Bishop and his artists here, and we were asking Davido or Burna Boy, Wizkid, and the thing, I completely understand, Burna Boy is, like on top now, but I was like, I find him a little bit, very arrogant sometimes. Is that right? Do you think that sometimes?
I don't think he's arrogant.
Really?
Yeah. In the world, humans are different.
Okay.
Some are so active.
Yeah.
While some are not active.
Yeah.
And the ones that are active,
especially
those role models, when they are in stage, the way they think is different from the way the audience thinks.
Yeah.
So they try to make sure they satisfy everyone. But at times they can lose it. But you don't judge them with that.
That's true.
Judge them.
But he's very hardworking, and I love the way he loves his mom. Oh my God! I last week I saw a picture of him sat on his mom's lap. I was like, this is it. Once a man loves his mom, he's a good man.
Yeah, but
I'll give him that.
The mom has been very supportive.
Yeah, and that's it. That's that it's so important to have supportive people in your life, isn't it? Thank you very much. So that's it for the. You can relax. You can relax and have a drink. And by the way, cheers to you sparing time to come and talk to me, because I know you're a busy man.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Right, now I've got to ask you, everyone now who's watched so far knows that, you're very busy. But, sometimes when you're so busy, you have to find time to unwind. you know. Otherwise, you're busy, and you struggle with your mental health, isn't it? But how do you unwind? How do you tend to like, right, okay, I need a bit of time off?
It's all about planning.
Okay.
If I work 6 weeks,
Yeah.
I take 2-3 days off.
Okay.
Rest, proper rest.
You mean after 6 weeks?
After 6 weeks,
You take 3 days
I
off?
take 3 days off.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got staff that are working.
Okay.
And, when I'm on rest, I'm on rest.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it affects.
It affects you. When you say that you rest after 6 weeks of working, you rest for 3 days. Now, many people would say only 3 days after 6 weeks. No, in those 3 days, what do you do to unwind?
Well, in those 3 days, during my rest, I'll read a bit and I'll sleep a bit.
Okay.
So that my brain will reformat.
Yes.
Otherwise, it has impact.
Yes.
Because if you work and you don't rest, you can break down.
That's it. That's it. And do you go on holidays? You know, where do you tend to go on holidays?
The last time I was in Mallorca.
Okay.
And then I'm planning to go Canada very soon.
Very soon. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It takes you away from all the chaos, isn't it?
That's when I'm on holiday. But if I'm resting, if I go on holiday after 7 days, but if I'm resting, those 3 days is just at home. I'll sleep and then I'll take a really good rest.
As a businessman, a CEO, and a lecturer, you must be. Of course, you're busy. We've mentioned that so many times. Sometimes our mental health struggles a bit in the process. And I know you mentioned that you take the 3 days off, but I would say that's not enough after 6 weeks. I mean, when you're feeling, first of all, do you ever feel sometimes that you don't want to do any work, you don't want to go on lecture, you just want to be on your own? Do you ever have moments like that?
Not really, because especially when you're doing the job you have passion for.
Yeah.
You never get tired.
Okay.
Like when you're inspiring people, you never get tired.
You never get
You only get tired when you're doing a job that you're not interested in. You don't have passion for.
You don't have passion for.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
true.
work,
Yeah.
but I'll also take a rest.
Okay. How would you advise someone to look after their mental health and mental well-being, if they're very stressed about things? For instance, it could be a student, that is under your care, and you're like, this student is struggling, and they've come to you for a bit of advice. What advice would you give them?
Okay, in terms of the mental health, the university where I teach, they've got a mental health, consultant. So I will refer the students to the department that will then, handle the situation.
Okay.
But the thing is, my advice I always give to students. Some students, because of the nature of the work, and then combined with the study, at times it's too much for them, so their brain can accumulate it. So I always tell them to take a bit of rest, relax, and then do their work bit by bit. So they start early, so that they'll finish early as well. So because if they start late, that's where the mental health issue will increase. So I tell them to take a good rest, and do their work bit by bit.
Take a rest. Do your work, in steps, and also refer them, you mentioned, to the mental health services in the university. Very, very important, because you never know what someone's going through. Now, if it's someone abroad, because you mentioned you have, you have students in all over Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, whatever it is. If they sent you an email and they're like, I'm really struggling, I don't know what to do. Now, you're not able to see them face to face, although you can call them. Would it be the same advice you'd give them as someone that's here in the UK?
Alright, first, if I receive such email, what I would do is to get in touch with a student, and then have one-to-one with the student, and see what the problem is. If the problem is about mental health issue, then I'll give the student a bit of some advice how the student can walk around in terms of the academics.
Okay. So the way I look at your business, really, you have that personal relationship with the students, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is so important, because you hear of companies that will get students and they do the same job as you do, but then they're very distant and they don't have that supportive relationship.
No, I've got good relationship with my students.
Yeah.
Because students are very, very simple.
Yeah.
And they will talk to you when you talk to them.
Okay.
If you don't communicate with them, they don't communicate with you.
No, that's true.
If you don't have good relationship with them, they don't even feel like talking to you.
Yeah.
But if you talk to them, you have a chat session face to face where you can support them academically. They'll start telling you what they're going through.
Okay.
Based on what they're going through, then you also know the type of support that you can give to them.
Okay. Now, you're a lecturer. What are some of the best subjects you like lecturing about?
Okay. Marketing.
Marketing. Very important.
Marketing and then, entrepreneurship. How you can, start up your business, manage your business.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were to give advice to someone watching us who wants to be an entrepreneur, and I know a lot of people these days want to, what advice would you give them in terms of, striving to be the best and not giving up? Because what I've realized in this generation is people want to get quick money.
Yeah.
They don't realize you've got to put the work in.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone watching us that wants to be an entrepreneur?
The advice I will give to those watching us today who want to start up their own business is that first they need to think about the type of business they want to start. Either they want to sell product or they want to sell services. Some people are good in selling products, but they are not good in services. Why some are good in services, they are not good in selling products. So they will need to identify what is best for them. And based on what they've identified, then support them, and also mentor some other businesses who want to expand on what to do. So if they go in touch with me or get in touch with me, I will tell them step by step how they can manage business. Business doesn't necessarily mean you need to have millions of pounds before you can start. In as much as you have your mobile phone with the internet, you've got Wi-Fi at home, you've got your laptop, you can register and start selling services. Do you understand?
Yes.
You can even do online shop. There are some online shop which they can register and they start selling products there. You see that? It's e-commerce. So there's a lot and a lot they can do.
Now, you're a businessman. Aside from being a lecturer, there's social media is blasting right now. It's huge. I know you've got a website, and listen, we will put the website on our channel as well, so you can get in touch if you want to. You've got a website, very nice. But in terms of advertising, how else would people reach you apart from going to the website? Like, what forms of advertising have you put in place for your company?
All right, we've got face-to-face advert. Where we give the leaflet out. We've also got our social media platform where we advertise our services as well. And then but social media these days is the platform where you can reach everyone over. So anyone who wishes to contact us, they can go on our website, www.courageconsultant.co.uk.
Like you've heard, www.courageconsultants.co.uk, and we will have that website if anyone wants to apply for these courses, wants a bit of advice, you want to get in touch with this excellent man, seriously, do that.
Alternatively, they could drop me an email on courage at courageconsultants.co.uk.
Perfect.
Courage
So
at courageconsultant.co.uk.
.uk. We'll get all those details before
Yeah.
you go, and we will make sure that they're
Maybe
and
my phone number as well. They can also
yeah,
reach
so
my phone.
they can also reach your phone. So
Yeah.
we'll get all that package for because this is quite important,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's very, very, very interesting. Do you get a lot of people, especially from your community, because you're from Nigeria, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you get a lot of people from your country that come to you and sort of ask for advice and want to know how to do things? Did you get that?
Yeah, a lot. Not just from my community, really.
Okay.
From
All over.
all over.
Yeah.
Because all over.
Yeah.
They call me for an advice, for counseling. Or what course do you think I can study? What business do you think I can start? At some point, some will start studying, and then they feel like giving up.
Yes.
So I encourage them.
Yes.
Don't give up. Try. It's hard.
Okay.
But it's all about planning.
It is.
Start your work early.
Yeah.
And then you can, show it to your teacher or your tutor.
Yeah.
And your tutor will give you formative feedback.
That's it.
So based on the formative feedback, you could, do better for feed forward
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
develop academically.
Yeah.
And submit your work.
Yeah.
So, it's all about starting early. But when you keep it to the dying minute, that's where you see students start struggling.
True.
See
Very
that?
true.
So
Yeah.
the ones that wish to, start business, they
Yeah.
come for
Yeah.
advice, advise them
Yeah.
what to do,
Yeah.
step by step, and then the ones that want to study,
Yeah.
they come for advice,
Yeah.
also advise them
Yeah.
what to do based on the information they've given
Yeah.
me. I could
Yeah.
suggest a course for them to study.
Okay. Now, if your student came to you, now it doesn't matter if a student is in the UK or abroad, they came to you and said, I'm struggling to find time to do my revision, or I'm struggling because I tend to do things last minute in terms of, a revision or coursework, whatever it is they're doing. For such a person, what advice would you give them to be able to plan ahead so they can do well in an exam, for instance?
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
When it comes to exam, the questions from the exam will be based on what they've done in class.
True.
So they can look at the past question papers.
Okay.
And then they can also, talk to their lecturer in workshop
Okay.
or in tutorials.
Yeah.
So what are the likely questions? And I'm sure those lecturers will teach them the area they want to set question for. But they're not going to tell them the question, but they will tell them because they've already taught them those topics in class.
Yeah.
So based on what is taught in the class,
Yeah.
that's where the question will come from. So it's a matter of them preparing.
It's preparation, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's the thing with life. You've got to.
And exam is more easier to
Yeah.
pass more than an assignment.
True.
Exam is just direct,
Yeah.
question, direct answer. But
Yeah.
in an assignment, you
Yeah.
need to be detailed.
Yeah. Now you employ a lot of people. I can imagine. Because you own this company, and I presume you have a lot of employees.
Yes.
If you had a very difficult employee, how would you deal with a situation like that? They're very difficult in all senses. Like they're always confrontation with the others, and people are always, the other employees are saying, listen, we can't deal with this person. How best would you deal with a person like that?
Okay. It's all about training.
Okay.
So I'll refer that employee
Okay.
for a training.
Okay.
Because some employees, they might not know the code of conduct.
Yes.
Once the code of conduct has been taught
Yes.
in the induction,
Yes.
and the employee is not abiding by the rules and regulations of the organization,
Yeah.
then I will refer the employee for a training.
I want to ask you, if a student, especially in the UK, came to you and said, listen, I think I'm being abused by one of the lecturers, or it could be anyway, emotional abuse or psychological, whatever it is, and they confided in you, how would you deal with that situation? Because it happens.
Abusing students. There are cameras everywhere in the institution.
Okay.
So the investigation, they will need to do an investigation.
Okay.
So based on that investigation, they could know the next step to take.
Okay.
Or if a student have talked to me confidentially,
Yes.
it remain confidential.
Okay.
Because we don't disclose confidentiality. And at workplace, confidentiality is also very important.
It's important.
So what I would do is to meet up with the head of the department, and we can to see how we can support that student at the time.
Fabulous.
And I can also refer the student to the department that will handle the situation.
Fabulous. What a spectacular CEO you are, Courage. I am so excited. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for coming and having a chat on Unwind with Kelly Joe. And I'm sure that a lot of people are going to see this interview and they're going to get interested and they're going to want to get in touch with you. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing in all communities, really. Exciting. I am happy. Are you happy? Because I am. Thank you so much for watching. It's been fabulous. And always, it's been Unwind with Kelly Joe. Keep it locked.